What a great view of Bristol Motor Speedway. Less than 10 minutes away, the green flag will fly, and the drivers are getting in their car. We're getting ready for the race here, the NASCAR Nationwide Series, racing under the lights. And I tell you what, one of the interesting things about the fact that this is such a prestigious race, and we've had so many different winners in the last 10 different winners in the last 10 times. Who's maybe that guy that you're looking at tonight as maybe somebody who could get it?
Well, I think Elliott Sadler is that guy. I mean, he's had a great start with the Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Won a truck race for them a couple weeks at Pocono. Showed he's strong today by starting on the pole. Could be Elliott's night.
Well, it's good track position for sure. Starting on the pole, Joey Logano starting next to him. You look for something early, Rusty?
Oh, absolutely. I think they're going to be shuffling for track position. We talked about the top side of this racetrack being so important, so fast. I look for a lot of them to try to get to the top of the track.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And the thing interesting to me, I'm really going to watch Earnhardt Jr. He is in a precarious position on the short track, starting 34th. Can he march his way up to the front? And you also got Brendan Gaughan back there, two veteran guys stuck way in the back of the pack. Can they get to the front without bending up those fenders?
We're about to find out. Let's go upstairs to the men that will be calling the race tonight. Andy Petrie, Dale Jarrett, and Marty Reed.
All right, thank you very much, Vince, and hello again, everybody. As we get ready to go green here, let's talk a little bit about tires, because you think it's going to be interesting tonight.
Well, it's a different tire that Goodyear brought here, and we've seen the lap times be a little bit slower, and we've seen these cars moving all over the racetrack during practice, and I think it's going to be a great race. I think there's going to be some chances for strategy because this tire holds its speed well. Once they get a read on how much tire wear they have, they can pull some strategy to keep their car up front.
Yeah, and the drivers are going to have their jobs cut out to decide where exactly it is they want to run on the racetrack. Can they make time on the bottom? Can they make a pass down there? We've seen it be pretty difficult, that upper side being the way with the more banking up there, that these guys can hold them off. So should be a lot of fun. This is always a great race, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we heard Ray Evernham talk about who he thought might be that 11th different driver. What about the two of you?
Well, Ray kind of took my guy. I agree with Elliott Sadler, but, you know, there's so many that you look at. Steve Wallace had a great qualifying effort here. He's just done everything except break through in that win column. This could be the night that he does it.
And my guy is Trevor Bayne. I mean, he's got a lot of talent. He started his career here at this racetrack. I watched him in practice. His car looked really good. It wasn't quite as good as Keselowski, but I do believe that he can break through and get a win here.
But the big key, as always, is, of course, keep yourself out of trouble, especially because you're always going to be in traffic. There are the 43 cars that are on this starting grid as we get ready to go down trackside from high up above the beautiful view of Bristol Motor Speedway. It's time to get this show on the half-mile road.
Race fans, to give the command to start tonight's Food City 500, Food City 250 rather, please welcome the Republican gubernatorial candidate for the great state of Tennessee, Mr. Bill Haslam.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
And a lid in it.
Fire it up. Fire it up. Line it up when you're ready. Fire it up. Fire it up.
10-4. Basically where we were parked today is our pit stall, okay? Okay.
Well, the engines are fired. Let's show you the starting grid across the top of your screen, and let's tell you about the guys that did not make the field. It is a long list. Kevin LePage, Eric McClure, Drew Herring, Morgan Shepherd, Ray Hackett, J.J. Yelly, Chris Lawson. And the 43 that did are about to roll out for the pace laps. Let's talk about our in-race reporter. You met him a little bit earlier in Countdown. It's going to be Justin Allgaier, the winner back in March. Let's talk to him.
Hey, Justin, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy? Hey, Justin, we're going to start with our mailbag question, and it comes from a Sergeant Matt Erickson from your hometown in Riverton, Illinois. And he says, I've been deployed many times over 10 years in the military. Now that you've been in the Nationwide Series for 2 years, how have you adjusted to full-time life on the road?
I'll tell you, Matt, thanks for the question. And it's been tough. You know, this is definitely a sport that's a lot of fun, but, you know, running up and down the road 35 weeks a year is definitely a grind. But these guys around me become just like family, and we have a lot of fun with them. And I get to have my wife with me, and my mom and dad and my in-laws get to come to a lot of races. So that's what makes it so much fun for me, and just glad to be a part of this sport. God forgive me the ability to do it.
Hey, Justin, you brought up the word tough, and I think that describes this racetrack. Even though you won here back in the spring, do you have a predetermined idea that you want to run the bottom, middle, or top of this racetrack, or are you just going to see what it brings to you tonight?
I'll be honest with you. You know as well as I do, there's no predetermined thoughts in this place. If you think you got to figure it out going in, you got another thing coming. So we're just going to go out there and do the best we possibly can and try to be where everybody else isn't. And, you know, just going to try to take this new red Verizon Dodge up to the front. It's awful cool to have this new red fire suit, new red paint scheme.
All right, man. Have a great night. Thanks for talking with us. And now Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Chad Walker.
Good, guys. Thank you.
Hey, Chad, Andy and Petrie up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, Andy, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, Chad. Hey, Goodyear brought us a new tire here for this race, and you guys won the race here in the spring. How has this changed your setup by them bringing this tire?
I'll be honest with you, we didn't know what to bring other than the setup that won the race, and we mixed a little bit with the 22 car, Discount Tire Dodge with Brad, and our Verizon Dodge with Justin Allgaier, and we came up with a pretty good setup between two teams, and I think we're going to be really competitive as the temperatures go down here. Okay, Chad, you got a good starting spot. Good luck today. Thanks for talking to us. Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you.
And Chad's going to kind of have his work cut out for him here tonight. This is one of those tracks that has a pit road on front and the back straightaway. And under caution, they'll enter the pit road there on the turn 2, and they'll have to drive all the way around the track and then all the way out on this side. No matter where you're pitting, that's the way you're going to do it. But under green, that's the only thing that's really different. You can come, if you're pitting on the backstretch, you can actually just come in on the backstretch and then leave out of your pit and then blend in on the front straightaway. And you can do the same thing on the front side. So that is the one thing that's different, and we'll see some of that tonight, and we'll highlight these caution flag stops to show you how it all works.
All right, thanks, Andy. The cars begin to roll out, and it'll be the 4th time by that we'll take the green flag. Our over-the-wall reporter tonight is Mark Hollywood Armstrong. It's front tire changer for Stephen Wallace. And we've talked about it earlier, Hollywood. This is a tight pit road. What are you on the lookout for tonight?
Marty, it's very tight down here. And on the racetrack, the drivers, well, they're on edge all night long. But down here in the pits, well, the crew guys are too. So it's not relaxing, taking the gloves off or taking it easy. Man, this is short track racing at its best. It's very tight out there on the front stretch and on the back. So look for a lot of excitement down here. But fans, look for a great race and a lot of fun down here in the pits, guys.
Hey, thanks, Hollywood. You guys be safe down there, all right? All right, the cars are out behind the pace car, and you'll notice the 33 of Elliott Sadler, he has elected the high side, and he has that choice. And let's get the final updates from pit road. First up is Dave Burns.
And Marty, in 17 nationwide starts in 2010, Reed Sorensen has finished in the top 10 13 times. Today, his day started with a scrape on the wall. He improved his day by qualifying 11th. He hopes to finish his day in victory lane. Shannon Spake.
Well, it has been a tough season for Jason Leffler, 7 DNFs, including the last 2 weekends. So Jason looking for a little Bristol luck to turn things around, and so far so good. He says the car is great. In fact, he says it's just one adjustment away from being so good he feels he can contend for a win. Dr. Jerry Punch?
Well, Shannon, Stephen Wallace qualified 5th, and he told me before he climbed in the car is actually going to be better during the race than it was in qualifying. Today, the crew changed the steering box on the car to speed him up. Imagine that, trying to speed up a Wallace. Now, he said the car should be good tonight, maybe a top 5 or better. He said, you know, my dad got his first major NASCAR win here 24 years ago. Maybe tonight's my night. Jamie?
Well, it has been a busy but productive day for Carl Edwards and this 60 team. The one and only practice session we had today, they went out, cut a tire, and Carl barely kept it off the wall. From there, they started over. But what gives them confidence for tonight, they brought the same car where they finished 4th here in the spring. Now, tonight marks the 200th nationwide start for Carl Edwards, and what better way to celebrate than back in victory lane. Marty?
All right, thanks, Jamie. And before we go to the onboards, or as we go to the onboards, happy birthday, Dr. Jerry Punch. You didn't think we were going to slide that in on you, but he's a brisk, well, I'm not going to tell you how old he is. Doing a great job for us down on pit road. And look at this beautiful sunset here in Bristol, Tennessee. All right, here are the onboards for tonight, as we've got Justin Allgaier, our in-race reporter, Michael Annett, Elliott Sadler, Brendan Gaughan, Stephen Wallace, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Trevor Bayne, and Wes Townley. Let's take a look at our track facts because there are some very interesting characteristics here. Pit road speed is down to 30 miles an hour. 250 laps will make up the distance. 145 to 155 is the pit window. And, of course, that accelerated banking from 26 all the way up to 30 degrees.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant change in banking. That's why these cars are going to try to get up there and run in that higher groove.
And we see this groove wider today now than what we've ever seen it here before this nationwide race was getting ready to start. So we're going to see cars from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, usually it takes a few laps to get that worked up there, but tonight it's there from the start.
On board with the March winner, Justin Allgaier. The pace car has its lights out. They're heading into turn number 3. As we mentioned, Elliott Sadler has decided to start on the outside of the front row. Joey Logano right alongside. As they come through turn number 4, the pace car will turn down. This wonderful crowd here, after 65,000 Wednesday night for the truck race, is now on its feet. And the Food City 250 is green. That's how fast one lap is going to be all night long. Took a total of 16 seconds. Joey Logano leads after lap number 1.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler jumped on that start, but I'm not sure if he thought he maybe jumped the start a little bit. They hadn't thrown the green flag, but it's really kind of his race to start. And anyway, Logano got the lead.
Yeah, it looks like Logano actually got the lead before the line, but it was kind of, like I said, Sadler got going really quick on the go.
Justin Allgaier's gotten around Kyle Busch, and guys, I noticed some sparks. Here's some action a little bit further back. More sparks from Ryan Newman's car.
You start at that low air pressure, and you're up there higher on the banking, and you get a lot more downforce there. So all of that starting in that, you get a lot of compression. These things will bottom out early on.
Yeah, that's the 39 car. That's Sean Case. And he's going in here. You see the pressures now are building up a little bit, and you didn't see it spark quite as bad right there at that time, but he had a lot of sparks early. Let's go from the 12 car.
Let's go back to the battle for the lead, and you've got the 20 of Joey Logano with the 33 right on his back bumper.
Yeah, and you can see two distinct different lines that these guys are taking. Logano's going in pretty much on the bottom, even though he's about a half lane up this time. See Elliott just a little bit higher trying to get a run off the corner. Logano made a nice run through there and put a little bit of distance.
Now watch these sparks coming out of this 12 car. These are pretty excessive. They haven't stopped yet. Still not slowing him down too bad. Might have barely caught the wall. He's racing Kyle Busch really hard. You see how these sparks are still coming out of the car. You expect that to go away when the tire pressures build up, but they've run quite a few laps already.
Takes another look underneath. Kyle Busch does. Side by side for a moment. But the momentum carries Justin back into the position.
Yeah, still bottoming out. Yeah, and you don't think that'd be that much. You can see right there. Just what that does is you try to run harder and harder, and he was trying to keep Kyle Busch back there. Justin's going to have to kind of settle in right now. They may have to adjust that air pressure the next time.
Either that or just the car. They may have to raise the car up just a little bit.
Jason Leffler in the 10 trying to move in there, and then there's the 39 again of Case. And I apologize, I'm still back on qualifying on when I mentioned Ryan Newman. One for Marty. You're stuck with me for another week, guys.
Well, Ryan Newman's out there. He's just in the red number 1.
Right. Brad Keselowski, the points leader, right in front of Sean. And that is a battle for 11th right there. And on board with Trevor Bayne as he's going underneath Paul Menard.
Yeah, we were wondering just how much passing was going to take place on the bottom side of the racetrack here. We're seeing some guys with good cars be able to do that.
Word that we have problems for the 88 as may have gotten into the back end of the 16.
Well, you got Junior started pretty far back here, and so you got to be on it because you get lapped in a hurry if you're not careful. So you got to be as aggressive as you possibly can. See, coming off of turn 4 right here, gets into the back of the 16. Pretty hard. Lucky he didn't create something bad for a lot of people right there.
That's Brian Eichler wearing the rookie stripes.
Yeah, nice job by Brian to hang on.
I delivered a message there. Hey, I'm here. You got to go.
Dale Jr., of course, one of 15 double-duty drivers in this race tonight. We have 3 guys that are doing triple duty. And, of course, Kyle Busch winning the truck race on Wednesday, trying to double up here tonight and then make it the trifecta tomorrow. Speaking of Kyle Busch, there he goes around Elliott Sadler, put him into second spot. While this continues, we're getting word that the 16 of Brian Eichler managed to have a little contact with the wall.
Yeah, him, the 88 of Dale Jr. still battling right now.
That's Shelby Howard right there.
He's getting beaten in the back bumper by a lot of people here. That probably did some damage. It's going to create some problems for him, though. Knock the toe in out if you hit that right front.
Yeah, but Junior's still struggling to get by. You see the car just ahead is Parker Kligerman. He passed both of these cars and has driven off a little bit.
Junior's still back in that
Trouble for the
spot.
66, guys. He is on pit road. Look at
right
the
rear.
right rear tire.
You can see him now.
Qualified 5th, and this is really going to hurt Stephen Wallace.
He's even torn that quarter panel up. What's going on with him, Doc?
Steven is saying a possible right rear tire going down. They're going to go ahead and change both right side tires. He thinks it's the right rear, but also it's in the right front maybe going down.
That's our over-the-wall reporter, Hollywood Armstrong. He gets it done and back out, but oh man, that is so costly, and there's still some debris up underneath the wheel well.
Yeah, and you can see just what Andy was explaining before the race. He was able to come down just on the front stretch pit. He didn't have to go through the back straightaway, so even though it still cost him a lot of time.
He came in 9th position. He is now 41st. Setzer and Jeff Green have pulled behind the wall here at Bristol. Welcome back to the Food City 250. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. You see Joey Logano putting the 34 of Tony Raines a lap down, and look at Kyle Busch coming on strong. That was a half-second lead, but all of a sudden it has disappeared.
Yeah, this is a racetrack that is all about momentum, and if you get a lap car or a car that you catch at the wrong spot, it doesn't take but just a split second and you have a guy on your bumper.
Dave, what's the latest on the race leader?
A little loose in the center of 3 and 4 as they come up on lap traffic, but the entry and the exit have been good for Joey. One thing you want to know early, actually, about Elliott Sadler was where he was running. You get so caught up here, you didn't know where your competition is trying to pass you. I think Kyle may look low or high.
Got the traffic that he's working right now, the 01 of Mike Wallace.
Whoa, so he can really get loose right there.
And it could cost him the lead. Here comes the 18 on the high side, on the right side of your screen. Then further back, there is Allgaier going around his teammate, Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, Kyle was really giving Joey a chance there to get by these guys. He was just going to kind of follow around, but once Joey got loose, kind of opened the door, and Kyle's now taking advantage of that. Going to the front once again.
So that'll be our second lead change. Oh, man, I saw him do that in the truck race Wednesday night. He split 2 trucks then. He just did 2 cars here. He can drive a race car, folks. Going for the double. Stephen Wallace, let's update him very quickly. He is 39th, Doc, 3 laps down.
Talking to Goodyear engineer Rick Campbell, he said, let me show you this right side tire. He said either Stephen rubbed the wall right along here, or he rubbed another car, and the car cut cords. When it cuts the cords, it just unravels like a spool of yarn. This tire was very close to blowing. Lucky Stephen came in when he did.
Well, it is early, and I don't know, there's already several cars 1 lap down. Getting the lucky dog is going to be pretty much impossible right now. A little bit further back, here's the battle with Brian Scott in 20th place as he is duking it out with the 04 of Jeremy Clements, the 87 of Joe Nemechek, the 15 of Michael Annett.
Jeremy Clement had a good qualifying run up in the middle of the pack, making the most of it now. He's still running real well around the top of the racetrack.
While this is going on, let me update you. 3 more cars are behind the wall. Derek Cope, Chase Miller, David Gilliland. That means 5 have parked it.
You see Michael Annett there on the bottom side of the racetrack trying to make that work and make a pass on Joe Nemechek.
Let's go on board with Michael. Big race for him. Remember, Pilot is home base of Knoxville, not too far down the road.
Yeah, he was really excited about coming here and representing his sponsor and doing well here and having a good run so far.
Dave, you got more?
And guys, he was waiting for the race. He said in practice, I never got to run where I wanted to run. Now, right now, he's not running where he wants to. He wants to be trying that high line, but it looks like he'll be passing on the low line. He wanted the track to rubber up, the Goodyear rubber getting into the track so he could race that high line, but he never did it in practice. And now you can see him moving to the middle groove. He wants to run up on the high side.
A little bit further back, there is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and he is in some serious jeopardy of going a lap down, because if you look a little bit behind him, here comes the race leader.
He's right there. I mean, Junior's just struggling big time to get by a lot of these cars. And he's just wasted a little bit of time here. And here goes Kyle Busch.
Junior running in 29th. He is now 1 lap down, 28 now on the lead lap.
I can't tell you how difficult this is as the leader of this race, though. You get in this pack of cars, they're all racing each other hard. They know the leader's been coming. They've been told that, so they're racing hard. You're in a very precarious position.
I love Doc's comment earlier today when we were having Sprint Cup qualifying. Staying out of traffic here is like going through a car wash and trying to stay dry. Jamie, what do you have on the leader?
Well, Kyle Busch and this 18 team very pleased right now, considering in practice they were 24th on the board. Right now he's saying he just started getting snug. The rear is a little loose, but hey, he's leading the race. They're happy.
Had a little bit of contact there between Stenhouse and Josh Wise in the 7. That was close.
Well, these cars are racing hard. They don't want to go a lap down. They're going to race Kyle Busch extremely hard, and they're side by side. There's nowhere for Kyle to really go, except maybe through them.
Yeah, and they're not
like
obligated yet. They're not a lap down, so even though some of them will get passed by, NASCAR won't give them the move over flag until they are actually a lap down, so they know the leader's there.
Well, I hate to do this. We have to take a break. The action will continue here at Bristol. Don't leave us. Make sure to go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear Support Our Troops program. There you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver and enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus or other great prizes. Oh, and take a look here because the 49 has tire issues. So all the way to pit road is Mark Green, and not a good start for a couple of cars now in the tire department. 33 of Elliott Sadler has dropped down to 5th position. There's Ryan Newman, and we finally get to see him in the 1 car. We'll see him in the 39 tomorrow. He gets around Elliott, so move Newman to 5th. Elliott back to 6th. Keselowski now 7th.
Yeah, Sadler looks like his car's a little bit too loose for him right now. Looks like he's just kind of waiting things out. But guy on the move here is our points leader, Brad Keselowski. His car just looks phenomenal.
There is Brad side by side. And we've got caution on the racetrack, and we're being told it is debris. It could be part of that tire that came off of Mark Green's car. And that's what we are being told. Biggest mover so far in this race, Casey Kane, has come up 27 spots since the start of this race. Kane has already punched his way into the top 10 after a horrid qualifying.
Yeah, he just about wrecked in qualifying. He actually, and the worst place that it could have happened on his first, completing his first lap, he got sideways coming off of 4, and that kind of ruined both laps for him. But he has an extremely fast race car here tonight.
Well, he started 23rd when he won here back in 2007. There's some of the debris that is being picked up out on the track right now. Our first caution.
Yeah, that actually looked like a shock absorber.
Like a piece of one. Looked like one had probably broken on that car when it blew that tire. Joe Logano had been struggling to get by a lot of lap cars. Kyle Busch was able to kind of weave his way through traffic, I mean masterfully. And Joey Logano was stuck there trying to get by him, and he had lost about 3 seconds to Kyle Busch before that caution came out.
And if you're wondering what's the farthest back anybody has come to win, 38th by Kevin Harvick back in 05. And you see cars already making their way down pit road. And this is where the strategy comes in, because the guys that are on the far end get to watch what's happening. Shannon?
And Jason Leffler says the car is loose but quick. They're going to make a slight wedge adjustment and 4 tires. Dave.
In traffic, Joey Logano's car is tighter in the center, freer off. The good news is it took a long time to get to that point. Air pressure adjustment for fresh tires and a chassis adjustment for Joey Logano. Jamie?
And it was Kyle Busch who made the call for himself. The wrench in the back window. He wants the car down 1 round in the rear 4 tires and fill it up with Sunoco fuel. Doc?
And Ryan Newman said the car is just now starting to come toward him, starting to snug up a little bit, been very loose in the corner. They will make a slight air pressure change on the 1 car of Ryan Newman as he comes down pit road to stop. But they originally were going to stay out and opted at the last minute to go ahead and bring him on pit road for a tire change. Guys?
We're still watching everybody as they're making their way back out onto pit road. The 38 of Casey Kane is stuck behind traffic. They had to push him back. Here's the Nationwide Insurance race off pit road. Kane is going to really get whacked on this one, but it's Brian Scott who picks up 8 spots. Leffler loses 3 out of the top 10. Just gone back to green flag racing here because the cautions don't take long for cleanup. It was Brad Keselowski on point because he stayed out, the only car to stay out, but he has been swallowed up by the 18 of Kyle Busch, has retaken the lead. Then Ryan Newman is third, Sadler fourth, and Paul Menard is fifth. There were 5 waiver rounds: Nemechek, Annette, Stenhouse, Kligerman, and Kenny Wallace.
This is interesting right here. You got 4 tires on the 18 car leading the race. You've got Brad Keselowski, who didn't put any tires on after 55 laps or so. And then you've got Ryan Newman with 2 tires running third.
Word that Carl Edwards got a little bit sideways. It's going to cost him a position or 2. You see the 99 has gotten past him. On board with Trevor Bayne. On the outside, there goes Joey Logano around the 60. So Logano moves up to 9th, bump Edwards back to 10th.
Elliott Sadler got 4 tires trying to go around Ryan Newman for that 3rd spot here. Elliott said he really enjoys working with everybody there at Kevin Harvick Incorporated and trying to get something worked out about possibility of running all or a lot of the races next year in the Nationwide Series for Kevin Harvick.
All right, let's watch Casey Kane. Remember, he had a tough break on pit road. He's 13th right now after getting himself back to the top 10 after starting deep in this field. He's underneath the 60 of Carl Edwards.
Okay, he's got a really good car. It's unfortunate, you work your way all the way up the top 10 and then you got blocked in on pit road, but he's able to make these passes.
Well, that's one of the penalties for that bad qualifying run. He doesn't get a good pit stall. He can't really choose where he's going to pit. He basically has to take what's left. So he kind of got put in that situation from qualifying.
You can see Carl Edwards really struggling right now.
Ray, what are you observing?
But same thing, we watched Casey Kane drive all the way up from 37th, and he's running around the bottom of the racetrack. Reminds me of the 9-time winner that's sitting across from me here. He's got a rhythm. He puts that thing on the bottom and goes. But Andy was 100% right. If you don't qualify good, you get a bad pit pick. He got blocked in by another car, cost him 4 spots.
I'll tell you one thing I'm talked into watching right now, which is this lines they're choosing, top, bottom. I'm glad to see that the bottom lane is working better than I anticipated, guys. I mean, you see some of the cars out there hooked on the bottom of the track, making passes. See right there, Clint Boyer's on the bottom. We see Joey Logano doing a lot of work down there. But now, I do like this racetrack. They got a lot of options. They can run all over it. And as a driver, that's feeling good.
Well, I can tell you, Rush, standing here watching, seeing more side-by-side racing than I can remember here in the past. I think this tire has a lot to do with that. Yeah, 2 wide is plenty, guys. 3 and 4.
I was 4 wide there for a minute.
And it looks like Paul Menard, the right rear of that car just keeps settling down, and we see some sparks flying out of it. He's hanging on to the spot right now. There's the action a little bit further behind with Clint Boyer side by side with the 10 of Jason Leffler and Trevor Bayne right behind him. And here comes Casey Kane.
Yeah, Boyer was another one of those that got blocked in on pit road too. He came in running 4th after that first run, but had that problem, so he's having to fight his way back up.
I'm not sure that Casey Kane doesn't have the best car in the field tonight. Just the way he's been able to pass cars, I really believe he can get that track position up there. He can challenge for this win.
And Joey Logano behind them is now in 11th position.
This is fun racing right here, fun to watch, and as a driver, this is what you want here at Bristol. For so many years, you couldn't do this. This is exactly why they reconfigured this racetrack to get this type of racing. And I think now, finally, Goodyear has brought a tire here that's going to allow a lot more of this kind of racing. As we see these guys get side by side, beating and banging once again. Jason Leffler in the 10.
What's the latest on the 21, Jamie?
Well, that last pit stop for him was certainly a cluster, and on top of everything, they had a flat right front they had to change out, so they're definitely keeping an eye on it. They're not sure what caused it, and that cost him a few spots. Shannon?
Jason Leffler very optimistic coming into this race. This is the same car that he finished 3rd with in Gateway earlier this season, his best finish of the year. They did make some slight adjustments on that car on that pit stop, and he has shuffled back a little bit in traffic, but the car is good, according to Jason.
Well, this is Leffler's 6th start in that number 10 car in 2010. He finished in the top 10 in 4 of his previous 5 starts when he's been behind the wheel of the 10.
Man, this is getting good right here. You see Casey Kane and Trevor Bayne have caught this group too.
You can see Kane couldn't make that pass on 99 of Trevor Bayne there, so he's going to try to get up there the top side and see if he can get a run on the outside and pinch him down. Didn't quite work that time, but he's on his rear bumper letting him know.
Well, he's delivered a few messages now. He's got a good run on the top side, but I don't know if he's got anywhere to take it. The problem is he's got Ryan Newman. No, I'm sorry, the 12 car in front of him, of Justin Allgaier. Look at Allgaier now.
Oh, 3
make
wide.
a move around. Oh, 3
Oh, look out. This is bad news. Oh, man, up onto the wall. Kasey Kahne now comes back down on all four. Caution is out.
Oh, you can see
coming
that.
at you, bud. Just hold on here.
That is a tough break because that car, as you mentioned, was good tonight.
Man, that's too bad.
Yeah, but you know, as good as they are, you sometimes it gets frustrating
man,
as a driver when you have that good a car and there's nowhere to go, but you just have to try to be as patient as you possibly can be. They know this race is only 250 laps, but you put yourself in those positions, you know exactly what might happen.
And we still weren't even quite halfway.
In the March race, Kahne finished 32nd. He was in a crash there. He had led 22 laps. He had gone from 37th up to 10th here, and then after the pit stop, fell back a little bit, was working his way back up. Lap traffic of Robert Richardson, and there's Kasey getting out of the car, and there was just a log jam, and as so many times have we seen, contact.
It's pretty spectacular, though. Man, he climbed up on that wall.
Joey Chitt would have been proud of that one, but right here, Justin Allgaier's really struggling. Trevor Bayne got to the inside of him, forced him to the right side a little bit. Kasey Kahne was already there.
Damage also to the right side of the 12 there, as you can see. Don't know how severe that is right now, but Casey's night is done.
That's good to see he's okay.
The lucky dog is going to go to Dale Earnhardt Jr. It'll give us 24 cars on the lead lap. Here's another look.
And Robert Richardson Jr. was the lap car that was in front of these cars. Everybody just looking for a way around. Man, that thing get up on the wall.
You could see that just like it surprised Justin Allgaier whenever Trevor Bayne got to the inside of him. Not sure that he ever had any idea that Kasey Kahne was out there. As things happening so fast, you might have a spotter hollering in your ear here, but it's happening so quickly, folks. Talking about 16-second laps.
Watch from on board. Well, Andy, you mentioned Joey Chitwood in the Auto Thrill Show. He would have been proud of this. He's going to be inducted into the National Motorsports Hall of Fame this coming Wednesday. There's what's left of Kasey's car as he climbed out after this crash, as we're under our second caution with 84 complete. And we're under our second caution here at Bristol Motor Speedway in the NASCAR Nationwide Series because of that crash you just saw involving Kasey Kahne. And we have had 3 different leaders, 6 total lead changes. Several cars took advantage of this with 165 laps to go when we saw the 33 of Elliott Sadler come in. Of course, Justin Allgaier had to come in because of all the damage. He was involved in that crash.
Yeah, but Brad Keselowski has played this strategy pretty well, I think. He's stayed out there because they couldn't go all the way from the last time the caution came out when the other leaders pitted. They pitted this time and got 4 tires, and I think they're done for pitting tonight.
And you agree about the 33 as well?
I agree. I think that's exactly. They were playing a strategy game here. They don't plan on coming back in the rest of the night, and it could work well for them. We see this harder tire. You know, it doesn't take off quite as well, but it stays with these guys.
And we mentioned before the break, the big break was for the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is back on the lead lap, gives us 23 cars on the lead lap right now. While we've got a moment, let's talk about the calendar, because NASCAR Now, presented by 5 Hour Energy, is on the air on ESPN2 tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then our Sprint Cup Series coverage from here at Bristol starts Saturday, 7:30 Eastern on ABC, with coverage at 7 with NASCAR Countdown. And then next Sunday, NASCAR Nationwide Series action coming at you from Montreal. It's 2 Eastern on ESPN2 next Sunday. Last road course event of the season for the Nationwide Series. And let's reset it for you, because Kyle Busch is going to be your race leader. And it will be Newman, Menard, Boyer, Leffler, and Bayne, your top 6. Then Logano, Brendan Gaughan, Scott, Allen, O'Quinn, and Brad Keselowski, who made that stop along with Elliott Sadler, 12th and 13th. So not a bad piece of strategy by those 2 cars.
Yeah, we'll have to watch them. See if they can stay out of trouble. Should be good. We've seen each time the leader choose the outside lane. Now, the other 2 times, they haven't been the leader when they came back around, but got a feeling that Kyle Busch will be.
Green flag flies. We're back to racing at Bristol. Does the high side pay off for the first time tonight?
Well, when you run wide open through there like that, I think so, probably. He hadn't lifted yet. I think maybe right there he did.
Paul Menard trying to get underneath the 99 of Trevor Bayne.
You can see Clint Boyer's got himself back up into that third spot, too, trying to go for second around Ryan Newman on the high side.
Newman giving him the lane, getting into 3.
They're side by side through the corners. And Boyer now has the spot. There's the 10 car of Jason Leffler. How about Willie Allen, Brian Scott, and Brad Keselowski? Allen is running in the 9th position right now. This would be a great run for this team.
And this is a time for patience right here for Brad Keselowski, because he's got good strategy. He's got a fast car, but he's got to be patient passing these cars.
Well, Willie's had success here at Bristol. He's finished 15th here in March. He also finished 15th at Nashville and Gateway. And as we said, right now he's running 9th, but he's got his hands full. Points leader right behind him.
Yeah, he did a really nice job in qualifying. He's been able to stay up there. They had a good pit stop, and looks like the car's working pretty well on the top side of the track for him.
Well, Dave Burns is caught up with, I'm sure, a very disappointed Casey Kane.
Casey, after starting 37th, describe your run to the front and the spectacular end.
Well, we were fast. Great Clips Toyota was really good. Just kind of moving our way through. I was loose in, so it's hard to get under a car and not spin out on entry, so I just tried to get the outside. I got to the outside of the 12. I don't know if he was forced up or what, but they pushed me into the wall. I had nowhere really to go except lift. I lifted, hit the wall, whatever. It's disappointing. We've always had pretty fast cars here, and I never seem to finish very well.
What was that ride on the side like?
What?
What was the ride on your side like?
You just sliding. You just kind of slide on your side. It wasn't a very big deal. I've had much worse.
We're glad he's okay, but done for the night, guys.
Yeah, I love you drivers. I mean, you're looking at the pavement from about 3 inches above it, and you're saying, oh, there's nothing to it. Willie Allen got passed by the 22 as Brad Keselowski. He's now back in 10th, and he's got his hands full now with Brian Scott. Also in there, the 32 of Reed Sorensen. There is Sadler in the 33, and also in that mix, Carl Edwards in the 60 as he's trying to force his way back towards the front. Let's go back a little bit further forward, because on the right side of your screen, you've got the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. That is 7th. 8th is Keselowski. Logano in 9th.
Elliott Sadler, I don't know if we've said this, but he's also on the same strategy along with Carl Edwards here of trying not to go any more, make any more pit stops before the end of the race. So they don't really need to get too aggressive with these cars, because the cars in front of them are going to have to make a pit stop.
Yeah, and actually with the 11 Brian Scott and the 05 Willie Allen, they're kind of holding this group up. They'd like to be able to go on, but they're just kind of trying to be patient and let these guys work it out.
Yeah, it's Edwards, Keselowski, and the 33 of Sadler that all pitted on that last round of caution. Let's get more from Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, both Andy and DJ were speculating Ernie Cope was pulling off some strategy, and indeed that's exactly what he was doing, guys. He brought Elliott down pit road, put 4 tires, topped it off in fuel, and said, we're done. We can make it to the checkered flag now. Said, go out there and win this race. So Elliott's got to take care of his tires, be careful with the front of that car, and go out there and be there in those final laps. Maybe pick up a big W for Kevin Harvick Incorporated.
And don't forget that Kyle Busch won the truck race. He pitted on lap 31, went 175 laps to the end. So it can be done, and that's what the strategy is here, I'm sure.
Brad Keselowski has cleared Paul Menard. You see that he has moved up to 6th, so he's been a little more aggressive than this group. And this is the best battle we've got on the track, folks. We have 6 cars. Pick your favorite.
Yeah, and Brad and Elliott started 12th and 13th on that restart, but Brad was able to work his way through there a little bit quicker, and unfortunately Elliott's got himself trapped in that. Carl Edwards in that group, Ricky Stenhouse, see Michael Annett trying to work in there now.
Oh, Junior's got his car working better.
Yeah, he's up to 19th after getting back onto the lead lap, courtesy of the Lucky Dog. He's going side by side with Danny O'Quinn in the 27.
It looks like he's able to race the car a little bit better now. I think when he started this race, he was so loose, Dale Jr. was, that he literally couldn't do anything. He couldn't make any passes or he was going to wreck the car.
Take a look at Junior's serial progress from 23rd, now up to 18th. Jamie, you've got more?
Yeah, Dale Jr. was saying he was just sliding the nose, but on those round of pit stops, both of them, they made a right rear air pressure adjustment, and that seemed to make all the difference, and he sounds very calm. The car is getting better, as you guys noted, as we have contact.
Yeah, that was a 6 of Stenhouse and a 33 of Sadler. That could have been trouble.
And don't forget now, Junior's on the same strategy. He won't have to make another pit stop either, so good time for his car to be working well.
That's Parker Kligerman in the 42, side by side with Junior. Let's go back up front, check in on our race leader. Kyle Busch has now almost a 1-second lead over Clint Boyer. We are approaching halfway here under the lights at Bristol. Just as we come back, we are under our third caution as the number 1 of Ryan Newman. Looked like a tire let go. Don't know if he ran over something, but he hit the turn 2 wall, and there is damage to the right front.
Yeah, they're done. He hit that wall really hard in between 1 and 2. Right front tire just went down and just abruptly. Car took a right-hand turn, and he hit hard.
Ryan won the modified race Wednesday, right before the Truck Series ran here at Bristol. And here we go as the cars are coming down pit road. Remember the 3 that stayed out.
Well, Brad Keselowski came in with these cars.
Well, we'll find out why. Shannon?
Trevor Bayne says the car is tight. He is having a hard time turning that steering wheel. Chassis adjustment in the back window. 4 tires for the 99. Dave?
Shannon, Joey Logano says, I need a decent change. That means a lot. It'll be wedge and removing spring rubbers from the left rear tire for a car that is a little bit tight in the center. Jamie?
And your leader for most of tonight's race, Kyle Busch, says no changes. Leave this car alone. 4 tires is the call. He's looking to bring home his 10th win of the year, and the 21 of Clint Boyer is in. Of course, the car getting better. 1 round up on the track bar. Air pressure, 4 tires for Clint. Doc?
Brad Keselowski wanted to pit because he was worried about the left front fender. He said, guys, pull that left front fender out. I had some contact with another car. 4 tires, he is away. The fender, by the way, looked okay from here.
Thanks for that update, Doc, because that was the important one we were wondering about. Nationwide Insurance race off pit road. Kyle maintains station. Keselowski gains 1. Look at Michael Annett as he picks up 7, and Trevor Bayne loses 4. All right, now let's go back and show you what happened to Ryan Newman, as there you see Ryan inspecting the damage.
You can see right there as Ryan Newman got down into the middle of turn 1 and 2. Right front tire let go. Hard hit into the wall.
Unfortunately, it looks like this will be his 4th straight DNF in 4 straight starts in that number 1 car. Tough break for Ryan. Back to green flag racing. Remember when Carl Edwards, Elliott Sadler pitted earlier? They're at the front right now. Parker Kligerman 3rd, Stenhouse 4th, Kyle Busch restarts in 5th. 40, Mike Bliss got the lucky dog 3 waiver rounds. I'll tell you when we get a chance.
Kyle Busch doesn't want to stay in 5th for very long. He's pretty aggressive on this restart. No surprise, I know, to a lot of people.
Contact between the 6 of Stenhouse and the 21 of Boyer. Looks like neither one was injured, so they'll keep going. Here comes the 22 of Keselowski underneath the 6 as well.
He just kind of forces his way up in there. That's a way you can make a pass on the inside. Now he's trying to go to the outside of Kligerman.
While this goes on, the 3 waiver rounds, Townley, Raines, and Richardson. Total of now 23 cars on the lead lap. Race for the battle up front has settled down. Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch. He's caught up with Ryan Newman.
Yeah, Ryan surveying damage on the right front tire. Ryan, what happened?
Right front blew. It looks like it melted the bead. I'm not real sure, but it just blew in the middle of the corner and set me into the wall.
Now, when you melted, did you have any issue? Did you feel the brakes getting soft at all with the heat?
No, everything felt fine. It just all of a sudden, boom, it went, and then no warning whatsoever.
What happens, guys, is that when the bead melts, the whole tire separates from the side of the wheel. See, this whole tire came apart from the wheel. When that happens, it goes down abruptly and sends the car careening into the wall. Tough hit for Ryan Newman. Marty.
It certainly was, Doc. And as you finish up, the battle up front is joined side by side. Here comes Sadler on the high side around the 60.
Yeah, Elliott had a couple of runs on him. Carl cut him off there. He was taking a real chance that Elliott wasn't going to get into the back of him, but Elliott's finally able to make that pass to the front.
Kyle Busch is looking this over, surveying, and saying, I'll try the high side on the 60 now.
Now, this is what Rusty Wallace was talking about. He thought the high side was going to be the place to be. Now we're seeing these passes being made on the outside, Rusty.
Well, they're using outside, using a bottom, using everything. But late in this race now, I've been noticing these guys have been using that topsider for the momentum, like you've been talking about, Dale. And you know, it looks like the track's rubbering up more to me. It's getting blacker and blacker, and it's creating more grip up on top of the racetrack. And I tell you, it's looking to me like this is where the race is going to be won at. You got to run this top if you're going to try to win this thing.
Well, Carl Edwards is sliding back, guys. He's dropped all the way back now to the 5th position. Dropping back a little further, side-by-side action. That's Reed Sorensen in the 32, Michael Annett, then Dale Jr. in the 88, and we're on board with Trevor.
You can see Michael Annett, remember, he took 2 tires that last time. Has got his car working pretty good on that top side.
He's up to the 11th spot.
Trevor Bayne just looking for somewhere to go. He wants to be able to make a pass.
This is all for position. A little bit of rubbing right there. Let's get an update on the 99 from Shannon.
Trevor Bayne stalled the car when he was trying to pull out of his pit box. Restarted his race 13th, but guys, he has had a solid car, a little bit on the tight side. It is really a work in progress, though. His spotter, his crew chief, talking him through each lap, and each lap, Trevor is trying different lines on the racetrack, and he continues to get faster. Dave.
Shannon, one of the reasons why Michael Annett thought that he could take 2 tires as they get ready to go 3 wide again, that didn't work before. Annett's car had improved on that run. It had been really loose in the run before, and that condition had improved, so just 2 tires with a wedge adjustment is the reason why.
And on the right side of your screen, the battle for the lead has been joined by the 22 of Brad Keselowski. Remember, he did stop.
I'll tell you, Elliott Sadler's got the preferred groove up top, and he's not going to let anybody get on the outside of him. And if he takes a peek on the inside, Keselowski's going to shoot to his outside. So Kyle Busch kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place.
Any correlation to the fact that these 3 all ran the truck race? I mean, Kyle won it. Brad finished 7th. Elliott had a disappointing night in 26th.
Yeah, I think they're definitely, I mean, these guys found something. They saw exactly what this racetrack is going to start giving them now, and they're putting that to good use.
Jamie, what's the latest you're hearing on the 18?
Well, under caution, Kyle Busch, he knew he pitted and some guys didn't, so he talked to his guys on the team and mentioned what was going on up ahead of him.
Is the 60 and the 33 thinking they're going to go the rest of the way? Yeah, they are. They are. This caution probably made them good for at least one green, white checker.
4 new tires. He jumped to the front quick, and it wasn't an issue, Marty.
Well, these guys have opened up a nice little lead. Clint Boyer's trying to get his car back into the mix. There you see him closing, but then it's a bit of a 2-second gap back to Edwards in 5th.
So Keselowski now just trying something on the bottom. I think his car is probably better on the high side, but he kind of sees it's not going to get him anything.
Well, and we're going to see, remember at the beginning of the race, you were talking tires and the fact that these did not fall off in lap times, that they were consistent.
They sure hang in there real well, and you see, I mean, the 18 car's got a little bit fresher tires than Elliott Sadler does, but we saw even earlier when Keselowski had stayed out, had about 55 laps on his tires, he was still able to run with Kyle Busch.
Yeah, and I think that probably the 18 car's a little bit better than Elliott Sadler right now, but he can't get around him. And before, whenever he was leading, they were running somewhere about 16:35 to 16:40. Right now, Elliott Sadler's leading at about a 16:50. But making this pass is going to be difficult.
Okay, here's
down
what
the
I
bottom
said.
side.
Look at Keselowski now moving on the outside of him.
Side by side, they go through the corner. Kyle says, not yet.
And Kyle had to try something. He was not able to get by, so he had to try the bottom, and that's what cost him 2nd.
That was the only room that there was going to be to try to make the pass, and he knew that he was getting held up, but he just couldn't get the grip down there that he needed.
So the gamble does not pay off. He finds himself 3rd now, and here comes Clint Boyer right up behind him. This top 4 continues after 144 of 250 laps here at Bristol. Back here at Bristol, we have a 3-car battle for the lead. Less than 100 laps to go. Clint Boyer wants it. Elliott Sadler in the 33's hanging on to it. And Brad Keselowski's trying to take it from both of them.
And we got lap traffic ahead.
Yeah, that's going to be the big key right here. Looks like Boyer's in the preferred position now. He's going to take the lead away on that bottom side.
New leader, and also allows Kyle Busch to come back up to the mix as well.
Still there, clear. Let's go. Roll your line now, let's go.
I tell you what, guys, I'm not agreeing at all with these guys staying out with 160-some laps to go on tires. You said 33 starting to fall back now. So is the 18 car. I tell you what, I think you got to keep 4 fresh tires in these cars The track position's important, but tires are important also.
87 at Joe Nemechek has tagged the wall between turns 1 and 2, but he's managed to stay running, and so far no caution on the racetrack.
No, but it's right in front of the leaders here.
Oh, no! Look out! It's Case involved. The 01 of Mike Wallace. Nemechek.
Boyer's got some damage. I think he got into the 01.
The caution light is out, and you are
he got
right.
a lot of damage on the right front.
So Clint Boyer, our race leader, now has a major issue.
Yes, it's the time to fix it.
He had just become our 6th different leader, and his night may be in some serious jeopardy.
Yeah, probably here more than anywhere that we go. The leader is in the most vulnerable position of anybody out there when you catch these lap cars, because they're racing so hard. You're the first one to get there. And how many times have we seen the leader get taken out here by an accident happening right in front of them?
All right, let's go back and show you the first incident.
This is Nemechek going down into turn 1. Oh, he gets tapped by Mike Bliss in the 40.
Does a good job to save it right here.
27 of Daniel Quinn does a nice job to miss it. He keeps going, and then here's what happens next.
Oh, man, Clint Boyer just nails Mike Wallace.
Well, these two had gotten into each other up ahead, and I think Wallace...
Yeah, he checked up.
Just checking up.
So here comes Case.
Oh, yeah. What happened was the 01 of Mike Wallace, he saw all of this. He checked up in Clint Boyer, and it's Bristol racing, folks. We're talking
about
wide open in the gas.
Here, you see it. It happens. They're there. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
There's
and Mike Wallace just checked up for just a split second, and that's what he was supposed to do in that situation.
Watch Boyer.
Yep, just wrong place, wrong time. That's too bad, because that 21 car was super fast.
And there's the damage on the front end of the Zaxby's 21. While we're under the caution, the 7 of Josh Wise will get the lucky dog. You can see the safety crews out picking up some of the debris. It will mean we'll have 23 cars back on the lead lap.
Pit road's still closed. That's why Clint Boyer hasn't come down yet.
And it'll be interesting to see if there are any other takers. What do you think, crew chief?
Well, I wouldn't pit if I was up front. Now, there's going to be a lot of cars that are going to pit that are on back in the line and try to get a little better tires. And just like Rusty said, tires are worth something.
What about Rusty's observation, though, that like Elliott was falling back right at the end of that run?
Well, yeah, you got to want Elliott was just protecting that outside, but his car doesn't look like he's quite as good as he's going to need it to be if he's going to try to beat Brad Keselowski.
Jamie, what are you hearing on the 21?
Well, there's a lot of debate, but first and foremost, Clint said, man, that was a lot of fun. This is such a bummer. So they're trying to figure out if they need to bring him in and just look for clearance, maybe just leave the nose alone. They're trying to debate whether to take right sides only. Richard Childress himself just got on the radio and said, guys, take 2. Clint said, guys, we're leading the race. We're going to have time. Let's take 4. So let's see what happens here when the pits open.
It's Austin Dillon giving his 2 cents worth.
Clint thinks it's early in the race. He's thinking about tomorrow night's 500-lap race because they only have 89 to go here tonight.
Well, here he comes down pit road. There are several other takers, including Ricky Stenhouse. Shannon?
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. saying that the car is loose. This is the second start here at Bristol, guys. They're making a chassis adjustment and 4 tires for the 6th car of Ricky Stenhouse. Dave?
Reed Sorensen said the front needs to turn a little bit better. They're going to put about 3 seconds of Sunoco fuel in. That's what crew chief Trent Owens called for. That's all they need. They will take on 4 fresh tires. Jamie?
And Clint Boyer, the 21, was the race leader, brings it in. They're still looking at the nose. Do we need to fix it, guys? Just make sure you clear the fender so it doesn't rub on the tires. You see him banging out that front fender right there. They're going to do the same thing on the left side as well. Now they're saying, see, you pull him up on the top of the screen, you see him pulling that left side fender. Now let's see. They still haven't said if they're going to take 2 or 4. They put right sides on. They're going to work their way around. It is going to be a call for 4 tires. They're going to try to hang on and get back up there to the front, Marty, but he's going to have his work cut out for him.
And it still looks like they don't have enough clearance on that right front.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. The guy's still working right there on the backside. That's where it needed help, and I think that crew member just got that. Looks like they're going to be okay now. I was worried about they hadn't finished it. This right here, they're just going to try to get fixed as best they can.
Get off the radio, off the 4, let's go, don't lose a lap.
All clear, all clear.
Ray, I tell you, the front end of that 21 is really damaged, but I remember many times here at Bristol, we look at these front ends and you're thinking there's no way these guys can compete. And one of the guys I remember is Earnhardt one night with no front end, flying around this racetrack. I mean, how important is aerodynamics here?
Well, Rusty, I agree with you. We talk about how important it is. I mean, that thing right there should not handle as good as we think it would with good fenders on it. The grill opening is there. They should be able to keep it cool. But I remember that night with Earnhardt because Jeff Gordon was on the radio saying, man, I'm pushing my fenders bent. And I said, hey, look in the mirror. The guy behind you's got no fenders, and he's about to pass you.
Yeah, this is something to watch because, I mean, he does have a good-looking left front corner, and that's the area that's very important on a car. But that nose above the right headlight is so high off the ground. You got to believe the car's going to push the front end real bad. But I've seen some crazy things.
Well, let's get more on all this from Tim Brewer over in the Craftsman Tech Garage.
I'm like Rusty. I've seen a lot of things. I've seen Earnhardt run around here with no front fenders on the car and lap the field. But the most critical area is this area right here. We work really hard trying to get the air dam down on the ground to achieve downforce. But the pocket back up here, that might help him as far as downforce. But the big gap right in this area, that's where he's going to have a problem. Stay tuned. It's going to be good.
It always is at Bristol. Thanks, Tim. All right, the top 7 stayed out on the track. Of those 7, 2 of them, Elliott Sadler and Carl Edwards, pitted on lap 86. The other 5 pitted 33 laps later. It's Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Sadler, Edwards. That's your top 4. Then Leffler, Logano, Scott. Those are the 7 that stayed out. Then it's Trevor Bayne, Sorensen, and Earnhardt Jr. in 10th. Green flag's out, and we're racing again at Bristol. Hold on. Keselowski gets a great run coming off of 2, takes the lead. We did have one wave around. Shelby Howard, he's now 1 lap down. Clean air out front has helped. Here comes Trevor Bayne. Remember, he did stop side by side with Joey Logano. Just to let you know, Clint Boyer restarted 22nd. He's already picked up 1 spot. Bayne's got his hands full. He's like in the middle of that vice. Now it finally sorts out a little bit. That's Reed Sorensen right behind him. Underneath him is the 10 of Leffler.
Jason Leffler trying to make that bottom side work and pick up another spot here from Trevor Bayne.
Riding with Dale Jr., he was a lap down at one point tonight, don't forget.
Side by side a little further forward. You saw the 33 going after it.
Yeah, Sadler was able to make that pass on Carl Edwards on the inside. We've seen some guys be able to do that, but the 33 has been mostly running that higher line.
Put him back up to 3rd, Carl 4th, and then here's this battle a little bit further back. Bayne, Leffler, and Sorensen 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Trevor Bayne in the 99, he was one of the leading cars that did make a pit stop that last caution.
Leffler's got a good car underneath him right now. He's trying to get around Sorensen, can't get it done. Meanwhile, let's move back up towards the front. You can see that Carl Edwards has got his mirrors full of Joey Logano. Here's this group still going after him just a few car lengths back.
Yeah, Jason Leffler's trying to be patient right here. He's got a good race car. He doesn't want to mess up, but he's having a hard time making the pass.
He's got to be careful, too, because this 32 is his teammate.
Both Braun racing machines, Carl Edwards and Joey Logano, they're going door handle to door handle.
Yeah, Carl looks like he's really struggling, especially right after these restarts. For about 12 or 15 laps, his car just doesn't get going very well.
Logano picks up the spot, move him to 4th, drop Edwards to 5th. Meanwhile, Leffler continues to try and work his way underneath the 99 and the 32.
I think if Jason Leffler can clear the 99 car right here, he'll go on up and start challenging Carl Edwards, but just having such a hard time where he's got that less banking down there. He just doesn't have that to lean on. Trying to get a run off the corner. You see him get a little bit loose and have to get out of the throttle. See right there, he picked up the throttle really well that time. A little contact between the two of them. This is when you start, as a driver, getting a little bit aggravated. I believe he's got him cleared now, though. Nice pass.
Finally does. So he picks up the spot, and he's starting to pull away from the 99, despite the fact he's shooting sparks out the back of the car. Let's move to the front of the pack. There is Brad Keselowski. His lead right now is 1 second over Kyle Busch. Elliott Sadler's third. Joey Logano is fourth with 73 to go.
It's a beautiful night under the lights at Bristol Motor Speedway NASCAR Nationwide Series Racing. Let's get caught up with what's happened so far with the 5-hour Energy Rapid Recap. Kasey Kahne started 37th, and he was a big mover early, but we got a crash. We'll come back to it. Marty?
All right, thanks, Vince. That is a rough night for Justin Allgaier.
22 just got around us here. How about
His second incident of the evening. This one between turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, he got loose down trying to make a pass, and he's got a busted radiator now. I'm not sure he realizes that, but all the water's still down there off turn 4.
He was involved in our first incident with Kasey Kahne getting up on his side. And now the winner in March is probably in some serious trouble.
He was already in trouble. He was involved in that earlier incident with Kasey Kahne. So he just got sideways. In under like Jason Keller.
There he is going down into turn 3. You see the cars just make a little contact, and that makes Justin Allgaier extremely loose. And it clips a car coming by.
From Stephen Wallace's perspective.
In front of you, stay high, stay high, stay high, stay high, stay high, stay high. Good job.
And was that Josh Wise? He sort of clipped on the rear quarter panel there. As you can see, they've taken it behind the wall. And Shannon, let's get an update. What's going on?
Well, Trevor Bayne is going to pull that car in. He does have some damage from the racing he was just doing with Jason Leffler. So they're going to take 4 tires. It was just 2 tires on that last pit stop. So they are going to take 4 tires right now. They're also going to make a chassis adjustment because the car is very tight for Trevor Bayne. Marty?
So he pulls back out after a 15-second stop, stalled it momentarily, but we're under caution. Vince, let's go back to that rapid recap so we can get caught up on everything.
We'll try it again, and of course we talked early in the show about the fact that Kasey Kahne was starting 37th. We envisioned that he would be a quick mover, and as we look at the 5-hour Energy Rapid Recap, we see that Kahne was a big mover early on. Rusty?
Yeah, Kahne, he really got that car running good, started working his way through the field nice and easy, not having any problem whatsoever, and the car looked really good and early going. Then he got all screwed up in the pits right here, lost a lot of time, got way behind, and take a look at this. They tried to make it 3 wide. Justin Allgaier accidentally gets up into Kahne, squeezes him in the wall. Kahne's up on his side. Looks like a Joe and Jet Wood act like we talked earlier. He is out of the race. That car is destroyed.
Yeah, they've really had some problems, and there've also been some tire troubles, Ray. You see Stephen Wallace here, shreds his right rear tire, gets himself in a lot of trouble. It puts him 3 laps down. He had a great race car. Could have had a good opportunity to run up front and win this race.
Yeah, and we see Mark Green there with the left front flat again, probably with some contact from another car. Right here's a confusing one, though. We see Ryan Newman lose a right front tire. Heard Ryan say that it was melted bead. Confusing because they don't use a lot of brake here.
With under 100 laps to go, Clint Boyer, a former winner here, takes the lead. But then after he takes the lead, just a short while later, he gets into the back of the 01 of Mike Wallace after he checks up. And a significant damage to Boyer's car.
Oh, yeah, Boyer's car's tore pretty good, although we speculated it might not hurt him a whole lot, and it looks like he's still got some good speed. But most recently here, guys, look at the 12 car. Justin Allgaier loses it, spins, comes across the track, hits Josh Wise, knocks his radiator out, and Justin Allgaier looks like he's out of the race. He's really got a lot of damage with that 12 car right now, guys.
And physics being the issue there, 2 things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. It's what I learned in school.
This is true.
Well, you see the work being done on the Allgaier car. Kyle 84, but he's currently running second to Brad Keselowski, Marty.
And they're trying to get back into this race because he's got 2 DNFs in his last 5 races. He doesn't win 3 out of 6. Let's talk baseball because on ESPN tomorrow, Sunday night baseball at 8 Eastern, we've got the Angels taking on the Minnesota Twins. And then the NL race, wow, this is a good one on ESPN 2's Monday Night Baseball, 10 Eastern, Joey Votto and the Reds, Buster Posey and the Giants. Both games available on ESPN3.com. And we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. It's Keselowski, Busch, Sadler, Logano, Leffler. That's your top 5.
Keselowski had him kind of stacked up. It acts like he almost wanted to start, and then he kind of really slowed him down. That's some guys beating and banging there.
We'll tell you, Brian Eichler got the lucky dog. That gives us a total of 23 cars on the lead lap. No wave arounds.
Elliott Sadler trying to go around the high side and take that second spot away from Kyle Busch. He's able to make the pass.
Yes, sir. So now it's Keselowski, Sadler, Busch, Logano, and Leffler. Carl Edwards trying to get back into the mix. Boy, and Keselowski has been able to run that low line really well down through 1 and 2.
Yeah, Keselowski's running there. You can see him in the middle of the racetrack more. We're right along with Elliott Sadler here looking back at Kyle Busch.
After the cars got strung out in that last green flag run, I was watching lap times, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. was one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. So look for him to maybe be able to make up some time. And
well, he's up to 7th. And remember, he was a lap down at one point. I mean, the beginning of this race, it looked like it was going to be a long night. All of a sudden, here he is with 54 laps to go. Plenty of time. Jamie, what are you hearing?
Well, Dale Jr. stayed really calm tonight, even when his car wasn't acting great. He says it's driving well now, especially on the bottom.
he's got a little fresher tires, too. He pitted on lap 162. The leader, Brad Keselowski, last pitted on lap 119.
You can see he's trying to make that bottom side work. He and Carl Edwards are down on the very bottom on both ends of the racetrack. Reed Sorensen right behind him here gets a really big run coming off the corner and down the straightaway, but Junior's able to stay in front of him.
Junior's flying through the middle of the corner on the bottom. He's catching Carl Edwards. Like I said, Carl's trying to work the bottom as well. Probably have to move up and try to pass Carl on the outside.
Well,
he can sneak in here.
Yeah,
he's got him.
You can say he's got a good run through the center. That car's really fast, makes the pass.
I mean, he's flying through the center of the corner.
And remember earlier when Brad mentioned Cup guys like to run the Nationwide Series to help build confidence? That is a big confidence builder for the 88. How about Clint Boyer? Let's update you because he has now worked his way back up to 12th after what looked like could have been a disastrous nose job.
Yeah, you know, the best thing that could have happened there is we see a battle for second here. Kyle Busch trying to take that back away from Elliott Sadler. But talking about Clint Boyer's car, didn't look like it hit any of the tires or anything, Andy, so all the steering should be okay.
Yeah, I was watching him, and he's making good time. And that, like I said, I don't think the aerodynamics are going to hurt you much here. And as long as those tires are clear, I believe he's going to have a good car here.
Kyle Busch makes a good pass on the 33 of Elliott Sadler. Kyle is up to second now. Sadler drops to third with Logano and Leffler rounding out your top 5. 48 laps to go at Bristol. Welcome back to the Food City 250. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. And that is the battle for the race lead. Kyle Busch has caught the 22 of Brad Keselowski, and they are side by side coming across the stripe.
Yeah, watching lap times, Kyle Busch found something about 10 or 15 laps ago. Was able to just run down this 22 car.
Yeah, but he might have to body slam him or something if he's going to pass him.
38 laps to go. They've got open track in front of them. You can see how much space they've got. So lap traffic not an issue for at least the next few laps. Doc, what are you hearing?
Well, Brad K said he really likes running the middle and lower groove because with his car going up and high where he's having to run right now, it got tight. And the higher he goes in 3 and 4, the tighter it gets. But the 18 car has taken his lane away, so he can't get down in the middle of the racetrack. Battling a tight condition now in that Dodge.
While you continue to watch this is about a second ahead of Joey Logano in third. Elliott Sadler has dropped 3 seconds back behind this battle. Let's check in on Dale Earnhardt Jr. because he has now moved himself up to 6th position, and he is in a battle with Jason Leffler for 5th. And then there is Sadler, and it looks like those tires may be hurting Elliott.
I think Elliott Sadler's tires, yeah, he's got the oldest tires on his car in the field right now.
33 laps older than everybody else around him except Carl Edwards. Those two guys stopped back on lap 86. The leaders at lap 119. The battle up front still side by side. This has been great. Hope you have enjoyed it tonight because it's been a blast for us. Kyle Busch trying to go 2 for 2. He won the truck race Wednesday night. Can he do it again tonight?
Well, I'm telling you, this is exactly what everybody here at Bristol envisioned when they redid this track. We're seeing great racing all the way through, but especially for the lead here. This tire that Goodyear has brought is allowing these guys to race like this.
I think he might get him right here.
He's got him.
He's got him.
The contact. And he takes the position back. Uh-oh, Kyle, will he retaliate? Yes, he turns him.
Hold on.
Joey Logano goes past. He gets through it. The caution is out.
Come on.
And there is damage to the points leader. Don't forget the Owners' Championship. It was 4 points in favor of that car, the 18 over the 22. And when the 22 was in front, it had switched to a 6-point lead for Penske Racing. And now this.
Well, that's the chance you take. I mean, he did get the 22 car clear, but he knows he's going to have just a little momentum. And that's what happened right there. And Keselowski got into him a little bit, got him in the wall. And then the retaliation.
I think a big question is how much damage does the 18 have, if any, from the slight contact he made with the wall?
All right, let's go back and look at it all.
Well, they battled for about 10 laps here. You see Kyle got just a little bit loose there as he pulled up in front. Yeah, that's Bristol racing. You know, each one of them, you have to know you're going to take that chance, but that right there is a payback, folks. That's all that is.
And there you see everybody else getting around safely. So the only damage in this really appears to be on the 22.
Yeah, you know, the thing going back to that, the 18 made the pass, but he got a little bit loose, and Brad had that run. And
yeah, I don't think he had any choice but to hit him. No. I don't think he could have even avoided the contact at all.
Well, they're going to go to work on Brad's car. We will take a break. Josh Wise will get the lucky dog. That'll give us, again, 23 cars back on the lead lap. We're under our 6th caution with 29 to go. From high above, let's reset it for you. Kyle Busch is the leader. Joey Logano, then Leffler. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 4th. Elliott Sadler is 5th, and we're back to green flag racing. And Kyle took the high side.
Junior making a move for 2nd on the top side.
What a great comeback for the 88. 1 lap down early, and then look out, a little bit of contact, and going around. There goes Joey. And everybody checking up behind him. We could have multiples.
That Boyer's knocked the nose of his in even more than it was.
Yeah, Michael Annette's involved in this. Paul Menard.
Keselowski was involved again in this one. Looks like he got some contact from the rear, but he did get through.
Stephen Wallace is involved. And we have our 7th caution.
That all started with Logano getting loose there on the inside of Dale Jr.
Yeah, just stacked everybody up.
Yeah, the 10 of Jason Leffler got into him, I believe, then. Not intentionally, just Bristol racing.
Now, Brad Keselowski did pick up a couple of spots through this. He's now in 18th position, but he's got more damage.
See, as they race down into 3, see Logano get loose right there, has to chase it up the track. He's really sideways right there. You see Leffler's in the gas hard and gets into the back of him. And that's where it all starts stacking up. Look, Clint Boyer's all the way to the fuel cell of the 98 of Paul Menard.
And there's the 22 getting through.
Michael Annette spun a little bit. Don't know that he hit anything, though. See, right there's a...
I tell you what, I really like Junior's chances on this next restart because he's got about 40 lap fresher tires than Kyle Busch. Don't forget all the damage on the right side of the 18 car.
43 laps to be exact on the fresher tires. So let's take another look.
Yeah, right along with Elliott Sadler. He was down on the inside, which worked out well for him, right? He was able to sneak by. But you could see the contact between the 10 and the 20.
So what it means is Kyle Busch is in 1st right now. Let's go again.
Stand up here first. Back it down, back it down, back it down. Come to the middle. Are you good right there?
That's the view from Michael Annette's ride, as Kyle Busch, as we mentioned, will be alongside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. as the work continues in Bristol. Just as we come back, green flag flies. Kyle Busch leads him down. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Elliott Sadler. And Sadler, going on the high side, bolts past Jr. Carl Edwards got his hands full with Jason Leffler. There's Clint Boyer still in the mix as well.
Got a lot of smoke coming out of this 16.
Brian Eichler got a tire rub, it looks like. Oh, no, Joey Logano. Oh, no, a multiple car crash. Brian Scott, the 62 of Brendan Gaughan.
Say hi.
And again, we have the caution flag out, our 8th of the evening. There's the damage on the 62.
Front flat.
Brendan was running in the top 10 at the time of this.
practice is running the laps down now. There's only 15 laps to go.
Yeah, Brian Scott had gotten himself up in the 6th spot before that last restart, but a lot of damage to his car.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to get it to refire, and he does. And he'll make his way back around. Let's take another look.
You see they get down into turn 1. It's like he was trying to go on the outside of Reed Sorensen, maybe had to check up a little bit, and then Brendan Gaughan got into the back, the 11 of Scott.
From Brendan Gaughan's onboard.
Oh yeah, you see contact there.
Inside. Come on.
Brendan had nowhere to go. Willie Allen made it through. He did get a little bit of nose damage. Willie has a great night going. He's up to 11th. That would be a career best for him. Brendan is heading back out. There's the rest of the field. Does Kyle Busch give Toyota its first ever win here in the Nationwide Series? Well, we'll find out. Verizon Wireless customers can text champion to 43776 for exclusive champion chats. It's content from our NASCAR Now roundtable of experts. So we'll find out how this unfolds. Maybe we'll get to the checkered flag without another caution. Keep your hopes up. All right, back here at Bristol. Let's reset this because we didn't even get time to tell you the last lucky dog before this most current caution. That was the 04 Jeremy Clements. This time it's Shelby Howard. How about Kyle Busch looking to tie his own record along with Sam Hart, 10 wins in a season. He's going to be up front. Elliott Sadler alongside. Earnhardt Jr. is in 3rd. Leffler 4th. Edwards 5th. Clint Boyer is in 6th spot, and here we go.
Yeah, watch Jason Leffler on that high side. He's got a good, fast race car here. Elliott Sadler gets a good run off of turn 2, though, and is able to clear him for the time being.
And remember, Sadler hasn't had fresh tires since lap 86. Look at Boyer going side by side for the position. He's into 4th.
That's unbelievable. That car is torn all to pieces. He's driving it for everything it's worth right now, though.
Junior coming back on him. Side by side through the corner. There's also Carl Edwards trying to get into the mix. Trevor Bayne, Reed Sorensen.
8 laps to go.
Willie Allen's into that mix as well. That's 10th. A lot of young stars. Whoa, some smoke a little bit further back. That's Brian Scott that's smoking there. It's got tire rub.
Oh, the 6 into the wall.
And Ricky Stenhouse has brushed the wall. He is slowing, but still moving. Meanwhile, here's the battle for 2nd as Leffler trying to get his best finish of the season.
Time's running out, but Junior's coming on these guys too. Finally got his car up to speed.
Yeah, it just takes him a few laps to get the tires worked in. Then his car really takes off.
Here comes Leffler taking another look. Side by side.
Trying to use up a lot of Elliott Sadler and does that.
And he gets the spot. So Jason Leffler now has Toyota running 1st and 2nd, followed by 3 Chevrolets. Trevor Bayne wants around the 21. And Carl Edwards is trying to hold on to the spot. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. Further back, you can see there is Joey Logano back out onto the track. Logano shown in 13th alongside of Menard and Josh Wise. Here comes Dale Jr., guys.
He's going for 3rd.
Elliott Sadler holds on to the spot. I can't believe these tires have held up for Sadler. Lap 86 is when he got them.
Yeah, that was a risky call they made at that time. It's working well for them, but it's taken away any chance they have really at trying to win this race. See Junior trying to take that 3rd spot away.
The man up front is still Kyle Busch. Remember, he won the truck race coming from the back of the field just Wednesday night. Last year, he almost pulled off the triple. This was the one he missed last year.
White flag.
Next time by here we go. Final lap for Kyle. It looks like it's going to be the record-tying 10th. He's through turns 3 and 4. Here he comes. Kyle Busch is now 2 for 2.
Guys. Way to bring it home. There you go. 61 to victory lane, boys.
Behind him, it's Leffler with his best finish of the year. Sadler, Earnhardt Jr., Edwards, Bayne, Boyer, Sorensen, Kligerman, and Logano. That rounds out your top 10. And Willie Allen in 11th, his best run of his nationwide career.
Okay, he's knocked out a truck win and now a nationwide win. He can get the triple this weekend if he can win tomorrow night.
Well, he's going to have his work cut out for him because he's going to be starting 19th in the Cup race.
That's nothing for him.
Well, that's true. After coming from the back of the field,
I've got 500 laps to get it done tomorrow night.
Just 500 more chances to get rammed up into somebody else's mistake, too.
It'll be interesting to see if kind of controversy and things that people have to say about the contact between Kyle Busch and the 22. I don't think Brad Keselowski is going to be very happy with Mr. Busch.
Keselowski came across the line in 14th position, and as far as those owner points, it's now the 18 car 73 to the good. Let's go to Jamie Little.
And Jason Ratcliffe, earlier today, you told me you guys threw a ton at this car, even the truck setup, and nothing would work. How are you back in victory lane?
Well, it's hats off to these guys on the Z-Line Design Race Team. They threw a lot of stuff at it. We had almost 3 hours of practice today, and we used every single second of it, trying to find some speed in this car. And thankfully, we finally found it. But praise the Lord for the opportunities He's given us in life, and it's just an honor for me to work with such a great race team and to work with a great driver like Kyle. We've been really close at this place a couple times, and to finally be able to get one, I just can't tell you what that means. This is probably one of the greatest racetracks to win a race at, because you just have to survive. And just great job by Kyle. I can't say enough about him and all these guys on this team tonight.
It was certainly survivable all day long for this 18 team. First time winning here at Bristol. Marty?
Yeah, first win for Joe Gibbs Racing, and for Kyle, he now has 10 wins in his 20 starts in the Nationwide Series this year. How would you like to bat 500 in anything?
Yeah, that's getting the job done, no doubt about that.
It's the 5th time that he has swept a Truck Nationwide Series weekend, and he could become the first to win the trifecta. If he can win tomorrow night, he'll start 19th when we come on the air at 7:30 on ABC. We'll talk to him. Back here at Bristol, Kyle Busch now has 8 wins here at this half-mile track, 3 in Cup, 3 in Truck, and now is second in the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
And it's certainly a mixed crowd. You hear the crowd. They were very much into what was happening tonight, Kyle. So first thing I just heard you say, what did Brad say? We're not sure yet. He hasn't talked to us on the air. What is your take on what happened?
I raced them, I don't know, 12, 15 laps. And my Z-Line Camry was pretty awesome tonight. The guys did a great job. It was loose, but it was good. And I thought I had him cleared on the back, and I moved up in front of him, and instead of him doing an Earnhardt crossover move, he decided that he'd just run in the back of me and put me in the fence. So that's Brad Keselowski. So, I went down to the next corner and dumped him. I mean, he does it to everybody else. Why can't I do it to him? So whatever, it don't matter. But Jim and Monica are awesome. Can't thank Z-Line Designs enough. Toyota, NOS Energy Drink, Marquis Jets, Gillette, and Nationwide Insurance, of course, for the series. It's fun to come over here and race and enjoy it. And of course, it's cool to put this 18 car in victory lane.
Kyle, people love to watch you come from behind. And this morning in practice, you guys were frustrated. You were 24th. You tried so many different things, even your truck setup. You were even frustrated at one point in the race, being frustrated about the tires. How do you get back here?
You just keep working. I mean, yeah, you could be frustrated all day long. You could be mad at yourself all day long, whatever. But you just keep digging. You keep your focus forward. You keep working as hard as you can. And that's all I could do. I tried and tried and tried lap after lap to stay clean with Brad. And I finally had him almost cleared. Yeah, I slid up in front of him. It's a slide job, and then he ran in the back of me and put me in the wall. So I said, forget it, man. You play that game, I'll play it back. So I dumped him.
Kyle, your 10th win this season, and you're not done yet. You're going to be in this car for the majority of the rest of the races. How much are you thinking about history? You've tied the record now. You're looking to break it.
That's pretty cool. I forgot all about that. It didn't matter to me. What's more special is this car, and this is 61. This car is won now at a half mile, a 3/4 mile, a mile and a third, a mile and a half. I don't think there are any 1 3/4 miles, but it's won at a 2-mile racetrack as well. So it's won everywhere, and this baby, it's an awesome race car. And this win here also, we've got some heavy hearts. So ASA National Tour friend of ours, Howie Ledow, passed away this morning, I believe. So thoughts and prayers are with his family tonight.
And Kyle, this car's won 7 times out of 9 for the record. His favorite race car. Let's go over to Shannon Spake and get the other side of what went down.
That's right, standing here with our points leader, Brad Keselowski. Kyle Busch just basically said you got into him and then he dumped you. What was going on between you guys this evening?
Just hard racing, man. You know, going for the win. You know, I was on outside, he was on inside. He got a great run through 1 and 2, and he did a good job and got up, almost cleared me, and kind of took it for granted that I would lift to let him in line, and I didn't. So, you know, that's his right. I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. We're going to go to work with our discount tire Dodge and try to beat him next week and the week after and every other week.
Brad is watching the video right now, the replay of this. Brad, you're on probation. Do you think Kyle took advantage of that fact here tonight?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I got my hands tied behind my back, but I'm not going to complain about it. We're just going to go to work and try to win races and win them the right way.
Brad Keselowski, still your points leader, guys. A lot of drama on the racetrack tonight. Bristol, gotta love it.
Well, and Brad has always said, you know, when it's my turn, and he just takes it. He's accepted it. He said he's going to move on, but he'll remember.
He races hard. He's not going to retaliate in any way. He's going to race hard. Like you said, he's going to try to win them the right way. And, you know, I really admire the way he's handling this, because that'd be kind of hard to take after leading the race all night.
Yeah, but both of these guys they're competitors. They're young, talented drivers, and they're going to find themselves in this situation many more times in their career, and it'll be up to them to work it out. And, you know, NASCAR is letting these guys do that, work it out among yourselves and see what can happen. But really, really hard racing, and, you know, they both kind of stated how they feel about it.
Hey, Doc, let's talk to the man who had a great comeback tonight after being a lap down.
And this is the Dale Earnhardt Jr. we're accustomed to seeing. Junior, a lap down, and you just drove this thing all the way back to 4th place for the finish. A great night for you.
Yeah, we had a good car. We just needed long runs, which you're not going to get here. But the restarting on the inside was really tough. I was hoping for a green-white checker there at the end, because we sit in 4th, and that would have got us a couple more spots back. But that was a fun race, you know, and I had a great car. I want to thank Realtree and GT Vodka and all our sponsors, all our supporters. That was the way that car should run every week, and I was glad to be able to drive it. Pops did a great job setting it up, working on it all night. The guys had some good stops, so real happy with that.
You talked about how good the car was. Now listen up, Junior Nation. Listen very carefully. How is your Cup car for tomorrow night?
Well, I ain't going to make no predictions, but I think the car drove a lot similar to the one I got tonight. So we know a lot more about with the racetrack and what it's going to do, I think, at night. So I feel pretty good. I could roll around the bottom today in practice. A lot of guys were using the top of the racetrack, and I think you know, we worked pretty good on the bottom all night tonight and made up a lot of time, and hopefully the car will work good there tomorrow night.
You went over and talked to your protege Brad Keselowski. What'd you say to him after what went on here tonight with him?
I just told him he's going to be around here for a long time, not to make a tool out of himself, but I guess they said he did all right. So that's hard racing, man. I mean, you know, I saw the replay, and, you know, that's hard racing. So you know, I'm sure that ain't the end of it, but it's pretty interesting.
All right. I'm sure it's not. They had a nice little conversation down here, guys.
Well, the Junior is going to start 27th. He gets a congratulations from Elliott Sadler, who brings home a nice 3rd place finish for the 33 of Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Let's take a look at the ticket to race, and all you got to do is log on to NASCAR.com/tickets. We're heading for Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and that's just next week, 2:30 Eastern, and then down to Atlanta Motor Speedway, another night race on September 4th, and then to Richmond for another night race, and then on through, down through Texas, Phoenix, and to the end of the season at Miami Homestead. And there is Kyle as he gets out. Oh, and he's obviously crying. He's crying all the way to the bank. Well, the celebration continues down in Victory Lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The Food City 250 is in the books. Kyle Busch picked up his 40th win in his 193rd start. And boy, here's a guy that needed a big run, and he got it tonight. Shannon, you're with 2nd place.
He absolutely needed a good run. We spoke a little bit at the beginning of the show. 7 DNFs this season, including the last 2 weeks. Does this finish maybe help ease the pain a little bit of the season?
We get a win, that will ease the pain. FOE, Fraternal Order of Eagles, Camry was really good off the trailer. Eddie Pardue and all the guys, everybody at Braun's doing a great job. So it was a good night for us. Good, solid night, qualified well, and just ran a nice, solid race. Got on the outside of those last couple restarts, that helped, and it's awesome. You know, we're going to build on this. Hopefully we'll get a win before the end of the year. I want to say hi to Charlie and everybody back up in Indiana, Ralph Braun, everybody that helps us out, everybody at Braun for all your hard work.
I can tell you from watching it on TV, this was one exciting race. What was it like for you drivers, especially having a car like you did tonight?
It was really exciting. I mean, it was just hard. It's fun for the fans to run side by side. You run side by side for a guy for 3 or 4 laps, and then you're like, okay, I got to go. So I was on the bottom, so I would do just kind of use them up. You know, you got to get going, otherwise guys behind you will be on you. So restarts are wild. It's always wild at Bristol. It's a lot of fun. So I'd race here more if I could.
That is why we love it. Jason Leffler, great finish for this 10 car today.
Well, another guy who had a great finish, especially after getting caught up in a big wreck, was Clint Boyer. Comes back to finish 7th. Here's what we're talking about.
Well, he had one of the best cars, not the best car in the race at that point. He got into the back of Michael Wallace and caused all this damage. And the crew did a great job getting it fixed and got him back out on the track for a good finish.
That was lap number 158, and Dave Burns caught up with him.
Well, Clint Boyer drove toward the front, and then a lot of typical Bristol things happened. So, Clint, how would you sum up the night?
Just Bristol. You got to love this place. Look at the fans. This is why we come out here and do this. Thank you to Zaxby's. Thanks for all the guys in Nationwide shop did a good job. Just what more can you ask for? We was leading a race and things got crazy there in front of us. I got into him, just tore the car up. But I think we were lucky to even end up in the top 10. But sounds pretty wild up front. Maybe you better go tune into what they're doing.
That wasn't a part of the drama at all for you tonight. But how was your car so fast after it got beat up so much?
Just determination. All the guys worked hard on it, and I owed it to them to drive my butt off.
All right, thanks, Clint. Great finish. 6th place tonight for the 21.
They say history repeats itself. How about you folks years ago who watched Elliott Sadler and Dale Earnhardt Jr. drive at South Boston, Virginia, and Myrtle Beach, all those times side by side by side? How good did that feel tonight?
I had a ball tonight. Man, I had a great time. I can't thank everybody at Ream and everybody at KHI, Kevin and Delana Harvey, for letting me drive this Nationwide car tonight. And to sit on the pole, run up front, and I got a little bit too tight there at the end. I was really good in restarts, but got too tight to try to go for the win. But, man, I had a ball. Just can't thank those guys enough for giving me this opportunity, this chance. And I felt like a 16-year-old kid out there again tonight.
You led the truck race on Wednesday night. You led and were a major factor in the Nationwide race tonight. What does that do for a driver?
Just confidence. I think that's like 4 out of the last 6 races I've been in, I finished in the top 10. So I'm getting a lot of more confidence in what I'm doing. I'm learning a lot from KHI and how they do things and feel the race cars and comparing notes to what Kevin and those guys do and Ron Hornaday. And it's making me a better race car driver. So to come here Wednesday night and be as strong as we are, and to come back and cap it off again tonight, can't thank those guys enough. Had a lot of people here from Ream supporting us tonight. Had a lot of people here from Hunt Brothers also, and it's fun. I love this racetrack. Been coming here as a fan, as a kid. Man, being on a race here tonight was a lot of fun racing with Junior. I told him I couldn't see him. He had that cool Realtree camouflage helmet paint scheme going. I couldn't tell he was back there, but it was cool racing those guys as clean as it was, and man, it was a lot of fun tonight.
Hey, nice job.
Thanks a lot, Doc.
Let's go to Shannon Spade.
And it's a 5th place finish for Carl Edwards in the 60 team. How was your night tonight?
We just battled all night. We never gave up, and at one point it looked really bad, but there at the end to come home 5th with our Fastenal Copart Fusion, and to have Brad, have his troubles and close some points. I mean, that's a gift right there. So pretty excited about going to Montreal next week. It was a lot of fun last year, and just good to see this many fans here tonight. And an exciting race for him, and just glad we came home with a decent finish.
And Carl Edwards fans, he did announce earlier today that he would run the full schedule in the Nationwide Series next year, so we'll see a lot more of Carl Edwards. Guys?
And he gained 34 points on Brad Keselowski, but he's still 313 behind. Now, another guy who has has done a whale of a job over the last few races, Trevor Bayne. Take a look. He finishes 6th tonight, guys.
Yeah, he did a good job staying out of trouble, and it's hard to do at this racetrack, but he's had a good string of finishes.
4th top 10 finish, as you see right there in the last 5 oval races. Dave Burns is with him.
And Marty, his best finish here before tonight was 23rd, so we talked about that before you started. Then on lap 3, I looked out, you already had a tire mark, and then you got 3 wide coming off turn 4. How'd you finish 6th?
That's Bristol for you, I guess. They told me that on the radio. They're like, man, this is going to get crazy fast, and guess they knew what they were talking about, because it sure did. I'm glad we got through that first incident with the 12 and the 38. That got really big, really fast. But that's the thing about Bristol. It changes so fast, and that was to our benefit at the end. We came in and pitted with like 50 to go, I think, and had to take 4 tires just because our our strategy didn't quite work out, and we had to keep pitting over and over. It seemed like the cars just kept being tied through the center all night, and so we tried to adjust, and every time we make a little ground, something would happen and back us up, so we'd pit again. And so we finally worked our way back up to the top 10, got the outside on the restart, got a couple of them, I think we were 7th, and the caution comes out, so I'm like, man, I'm trapped on the bottom again, but somehow we worked our way back up to 6th. So great run for the Pet Care Toyota today. You know, it's our best Bristol finish. It finally shows how fast our cars have been here every time we've been here. You know, it's great to be in the top 10 and be running this strong at all the oval tracks here recently. I mean, our program has really stepped it up, but we got another road course coming up next weekend, so we got to work on that program now.
You know, there's always another program to work on when you're a young guy like this, right, Marty?
Absolutely, and let's show you the updated points because Trevor Bayne is in the top 10. In fact, the battle for the last few spots really getting interesting, as you can tell, as Trevor is in 8th. Jason Leffler moves up to 9th. Brendan Gaughan drops to 10th. Notice Kyle Busch in 3rd. Remember, he has run 4 less races, just 20 of the 24. On his average, if he ran all the races, just an average finish, he'd have a 245-point lead. That's how good he's been. Back here at Bristol, let's set the schedule for you because NASCAR Now, presented by 5 Hour Energy, will be tomorrow morning on ESPN2 at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And then tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on ABC, Sprint Cup Series action. We're going to go 500 laps. Coverage starts at 7 with NASCAR Countdown, and then the NASCAR Nationwide Series will be in Montreal next Sunday, 2 Eastern on ESPN2. Got time enough to talk to a couple of more good finishers tonight, one with a lot of experience, the other with a career best. Jamie?
And Reed Sorensen, he has a lot of experience here. Finished 8th today. Take us through your night, Reed.
Well, it was a long night. I think we played the pit strategy perfect. You know, we had decent tires and up in the front towards the end, and that's about all you can ask for here. And seems like every restart we got more damage and more damage and more damage each restart we had, and I think that hurt our car a little bit. We didn't have a great car, but we had a car where we could run good on long runs, I felt like, and the top was definitely our friend. And the last restart where we started 5th, the second to last restart, I think that's what killed us, is just being on the bottom and not being able to go there, and that created our last damage. So overall, a good night for the Dollar General team and a nice top 10. And, you know, we'll let Jock get in the car next week, hopefully win Montreal, and then I'll be back in my hometown, Atlanta. So looking forward to that, and it was a good night.
All right, he'll be in the 83 Cup car tomorrow. Let's go over to Dave.
And Jamie, the guy who started last tonight, finished 9th, Parker Kligerman. How'd you do that?
I just want to thank the guys on this team. We were a 3-person team, and we were punching way above our weight tonight, and we just drove a great race. Awesome strategy by Chris Carrier, Mark Brownie and the guys. Tyler Mitchell did awesome putting this car together. And we had 3 sponsors we'd really like to thank tonight. Peltier family of American Loggers on Discovery Channel. Chipper Bandits, or Bandit Chippers, .com. They create axe tools. And GetMoreVacations.com, which is one of the owners' companies, and you're able to go down there for the Gulf Coast and have great deals off the racing. So I want to thank this team, Penske Racing, everyone who's helped us do this, but this deal was probably the first deal this year that the 42 was on its own, and we got our best finish, and my best finish nationwide 8 stars. So thank you.
On their own, and a great run, Marty.
And we won't get time to talk to Willie Allen, but let's give him a tip of the hat as well as he finishes a career best 11th. So we've touched base with a lot of these guys. What was your final impressions?
Well, I think one big thing, we saw a lot of guys up front, Leffler, Elliott Sadler, Dale Jr. These guys needed good runs. Kligerman, all these people we talked to, they needed some good things to happen, and it did for them tonight.
I was impressed by the racetrack. We had the best racing I've seen in a long time at this track, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah, we all are, Vince. Take us home and get us ready for tomorrow.
Indeed, looking forward to tomorrow night's Sprint Cup race. I think we learned some things that we're going to see tomorrow night from tonight's race. But first of all, Toyota finishes 1-2, gets its first nationwide series win here at Bristol. Kyle Busch finishes first, his 10th win of the season. Jason Leffler, a season best second. And that kind of a confidence builder for a couple of guys in Elliott Sadler and Dale Jr.
Elliott Sadler, Dale Jr. both they finished 3rd and 4th. Great confidence builders for these guys, simply because they've struggled on the Cup side, but they've proved tonight that these cats can drive some race cars when they have the equipment.
Saw some tempers flying a little bit. It's Bristol, right?
That's one of the things I was really paying attention to, guys. I mean, I'm looking out there. These guys are running side by side. They couldn't get away from each other. I mean, they get a little ahead, then they get behind, ahead, and they reach each other for 15, 20 laps. You take a look at Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski and what was going on. These guys are getting madder and madder because they couldn't clear each other, Ray. Yeah. And I think we're going to see a lot of that tomorrow.
And you know what I'm excited about, in Countdown we talked about this would be a good series to let these young guys showcase their talents. And when you look at guys like Trevor Bayne in 6th and Parker Kligerman 9th, Joey Logano 10th, Willie Allen 11th, tonight was a night for those guys to shine. And I'm going to tell you guys, average those 4 guys' ages against ours, we're not looking so good.
Especially you guys, especially y'all 3. But hey, let's not forget the man, Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
He put it on him again tonight.
Kyle wins the truck race Wednesday, wins the nationwide race tonight. Can he win all 3? Can he sweep? He starts 19th in the Cup race tomorrow.
I don't think it's it's will he do it tomorrow.
And what about a confidence builder for Dale Earnhardt Jr.? I don't care if it's Cup or whatever. This guy finished 4th tonight. He's got to feel really good after all the problems he's been having this year in the Cup Series.
He can get it done.
And he said tonight, hey, I learned a lot tonight that he thinks he can put in to tomorrow night's race and likes his car.
And have at it, boys. Ain't over yet.
The race action continues when the Sprint Cup stars take the stage tomorrow night. Sprint Cup Series at Bristol tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Coverage begins with Countdown at 7 o'clock. Congratulations once again to our race winner, Kyle Busch. Tonight, don't forget, SportsCenter is coming up next, and we'll be back in just a few moments to take a look ahead to tomorrow night's Sprint Cup race under the lights here at Bristol.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
This program proudly brought to you by Super Cheap Auto's full-on Father's Day sale and Valvoline, the guaranteed performer.